Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jada. It's nice to meet you. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be an October wrap-up / November TBR. My October TBR was 10 books. I didn't achieve it, but I read 2 out of the 10 that were on there. 2 or 3. I think it was 3. If you're not following my TikTok, you should be. Everything's always linked in the description. I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm gonna take you through the 4 books that I read in October, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in my October TBR. Here's the thing. I am very much a mood reader, so if I don't feel like reading it, I will not read it. Okay? That being said, the TBR is just fun. They're fun to make, so I'm gonna make it. And then I'll come back in December and tell you what I read. Simple as that. So we're gonna hop right into October, okay? It was Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. That book is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I forgot I read it. It is about Winnie and Bo. Winnie and Bo are 2 people that have a one-night stand. If you don't like pregnancy trope, don't read it because she does get pregnant. I'm gonna be honest with you, this book was good. I had fun reading it. It was a fun read. Do I remember like the premises of the book? No. But what I do remember is it was fun. I was laughing. I did get a little bit emotional just because it's an emotional thing to have a child. I loved Bo. Bo was so fun. He was so fun. He was such a sweetheart. And so he wasn't like overbearing, but he was sweet. You know, he was gentle giant. That's what he gives, okay? Gentle giant. It's supposed to be like this disability representation. She has limb difference. I think it's her right hand. And then he has a prosthetic leg. I'm not gonna tell you how he got the prosthetic leg, but it's in there. So I enjoyed it. If you don't like pregnancy trope, you probably are not gonna like it because she's literally pregnant the entire book. The entirety of the book. Chapter like 3 to the end, she's pregnant. But I liked it. I don't mind a pregnancy trope as long as it's not like gross. You know, does that make sense? Like kinky. You know, some people are like, oh, she's pregnant, let me hit it. That grosses me out, so I'm not a fan of that. But this one was good. It was done well. It wasn't too in your face. Yeah. Second book, I gave that book actually a 4-star rating. I'm probably gonna change it to a 3-star because I don't remember anything else about the book. So it's okay to change your ratings of your books if you want to. That's on you. Next book that I finished in October was King of Pride by Anna Huang. This book was so good. I don't know why it took me so long to finish it. It literally took me 6 months to read it because I started reading it and then I just put it down and never picked it back up. As you can tell, I did tab her. She is tabbed. This is for trope references, opposites attract, billionaire. I love a billionaire trope. Billionaires are my favorites. Kai was so funny. Kai is probably one of my favorite MMCs in Anne Huang's universe. They're just so much fun. He was so funny. He was so sarcastic, but so serious. He wasn't like grumpy, but he kind of gave grumpy, you know? He wasn't like, you know, Alex, Twisted Love, he's grumpy, very clearly grumpy. This man is not grumpy. He's just kind of like, why are you the way you are? And I loved it. He was so much fun. Isabella, I love her. She's a fantastic FMC. I want to give her a big hug. But I also want to slap her brother because he's annoying. If you know, you know. Together, dynamic duo. They give like banter-wise, Josh and Jules, but nobody does it like Josh and Jules, obviously. But it was very, very similar. Okay, so I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5. And I wouldn't change that. It's perfect. 5 is too much. 4 is too small. 4.5 for Kai and Isabella. Loved them. The next book that I read was actually, I listened to it on audiobook. But I do have the physical copy. Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. This is a memoir. It's actually such a good book. Like, you could say, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a memoir, because you know, memoirs, like, personally, I don't like memoirs. Do I own like 12? Yes, but they have to be done correctly, and I'm usually scared and hesitant to read them. But he did it in such a beautiful way. There are pictures, there are, what are they called? He calls them bumper stickers, or like notes to self, where it's like his diary entries. Like, I feel like this was done so beautifully, and the audiobook was even better. But I'm also in love with Matthew McConaughey, so call me biased, but I don't care. This was a 4 out of 5. I wouldn't say 5 because it didn't like change my life, but it definitely opened my eyes. You know, now my mom actually read this too. She listened to the audiobook as well. So now her and I, we kind of like have this inside joke where we'll look at something and we'll be like, green light. And if you've read it or you've listened to it, you know. I highly recommend this book. This is not like, oh, a self-help book. Oh, I'm right, you're wrong, listen to me. No, this is very much, this is what happened. This is what I learned. This is what you could take from it. If you don't take it, that's fine. Leave it for somebody else. Love this book. And I actually met him in September? October? I met him a couple of weeks ago, and he was so sweet at his launch for his children's book, Just Because. But good book. Highly recommend this to anyone who is interested in reading nonfiction. The reason I read it on audiobook is because nonfiction and I are not friends. I usually fall asleep. But this book kept me up. It made me laugh. It made me emotional. There are snippets in the audiobook that are not included in the book, which I think is interesting. So it's not like, you know, big giant pages of stuff, but it'll be like little side notes. Like little, what are they called? Caveats. Little caveats, little tangents that he'll go off on. So, Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey, 4 stars. Then I read Caught Up by Liz Tomford. Liz, I hope you're watching this. I know you're not, but I hope you are. You put crack. You see this, the spine? If you open the book and you look in here, there's crack in it because I couldn't put this down. I started reading it on the 14th and I finished it on the 16th. It took me 2 days to read this. Had I not had to work or go to school, I would have ate this in 24 hours. And I tabbed it, the shit out of it. This, okay. Ryan Shea. This is a part of the Windy City series, okay? If you haven't read the Windy City series, I highly recommend. I highly recommend it. They're so much fun. And Ryan Shea was my #1. No book boyfriend ever beat Ryan Shea except Reese Larson. So I met Kai. This book is Single Dad. I'm not gonna say forbidden because it's not really forbidden. It's more like frowned upon. But Coach's daughter. What do they call him? Baseball Clark Kent. That is Kai Rhodes. He had me hooked because I've never ever read. I've read books with like a few, maybe one single dad trope or like dad tropes, whatever. No man has ever loved their child the way that this man loves his. Ever. And no one has ever loved a child that's not theirs as much as this woman, Ms. Miller, loves his son. The cameos. Oh my god. 8. Liz, Miss Tomford, I love you. And this, I can't even imagine what's gonna happen in book 4 because this was so good. I gave Mile High a 4. I gave The Right Move a 5. This is a 5. Miller is a chef, and obviously Kai is a basketball player, but Miller has this kind of imposter syndrome that she has to suffer through the entire book. And I feel like no one has, I have yet to read a book. What is it? King of Pride kind of touched on it very slightly with Isabella, but Liz, I feel like, hit a home run. Pun not intended. She hit a home run with this because Miller and I, we're here. We get along. Beautiful. Wonderful book. And he's a dirty man. He's a dirty man. That's all I'm gonna say. Next book. Last book I'm gonna talk about for October. My most anticipated book of the year. King of Greed by Anna Huang, of course. Anna. I worship at your feet. This book, 6 stars. 6 stars. I finished it yesterday. I haven't stopped thinking about it since I started it. I cried maybe 3 or 4 times. I love this book. Best book I've read all year, but there's still time. I highly doubt that there's gonna be a book better than this. This follows Dominic and Alessandra Davenport. They are a married couple. They've been married for 10 years. Long time. Dominic is Wall Street king, but he does not appreciate the woman he has at home. So she leaves him. And he has to spend his time fighting for her back. This should not be called King of Greed. It should be called King of Grovel, because, oh my God, you thought Alex had to grovel? Dominic invented groveling, okay? He's the CEO of groveling. Love this book. Love it. It gave me all the feels. I wanted to hug them. And Alessandra, you are a stronger woman than I, because I would have folded in like chapter 4 with the things that this man would say and do. This is part of the Kings of Sin series. You don't have to read them in order. I highly recommend you do though, because then it'll make the cameos, which also in this book. Anna, you ate 6-star book, 6 stars. Okay? 5. No, 6. 6. This is one of the 2 books that I've rated a 6-star. Okay? Well, those were the 5 books that I read in October. I highly recommend them all of them. But if you take one thing away from this, it's this one. One thing. Okay? Now that we've talked about those, we're gonna put them to the side. Now we're gonna talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books on my November TBR. And they're all pretty thick. So let's see. I have midterms this month. Thanksgiving is looking like it's gonna be tough. I don't have any particular order that I'm gonna read these books in. I'm gonna read them when I feel like it. And if I don't read them, mind your business. Okay? First one on my list is Light Lark by Alex Astor. Let's talk about this book, okay? Look at her. She's so beautiful. And apparently, I accidentally bought a signed copy. Didn't know that, but don't mind if I do. Anyways, I am going to be finally reading this. I did purchase this like last winter, but I'm reading this because I am actually going to meet her on November 7th for her release of Nightbane, which is the second book in this series. I am so excited. I am currently reading it. I'm on chapter 3 and it's so good so far. Like the magic, and it literally says on the back, it says, if the Hunger Games was a dark fairy tale, you'd get the vicious and enchanting Lilac. I get it already, and I'm only on chapter 3. There's magic. There is a romance subplot or something. I don't know. I'm here for the magic, because for me, November and December are like magic times of year, okay? Personally, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, so it's a magical time for me. But a lot of these books are gonna be like fantasy-esque books, or like dystopian-esque books. So yeah, this is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know what books are about. I just read them and then I'm like, good, bad, bad, good. But yeah, this is, Hunger Games is my favorite book of all time, so I feel like I'm gonna enjoy this. And then I'm going to meet her on November 7th, so there will be a vlog of that going up that weekend, whenever the 7th is. That's Veterans Day weekend actually, so yeah, you should expect that. I'm super excited for this. This, I don't know what I feel like I'm gonna rate it, but I feel like it's gonna be a 4 or higher because I love magic. Okay, this is my October book club book, so I have to read this. I have English is hard, guys, okay? I have book club November 12th, so I will read it that week because I like to keep it fresh in my mind when we have the discussions, okay? So I did not pick this book. I picked the book for book club for November, but I'm not telling you what it is, okay? I'm not telling you what it is, but I will tell you it's in this pile, so just guess which one it is. Anyways, this book is called The Perfect Marriage by Miss Geneva Rose. This is about a woman. She's a defense lawyer in Washington, and her husband actually cheats on her. He's cheating on her actively, and then the woman he's cheating on his wife with ends up dead. Mystery. It gets better. She has to defend him in court because people think he killed her. So let's talk about it. I'm excited. This sounds spooky, mystery. We read The Silent Patient last month, and I loved it. So I'm hoping this gives the same energy. Perfect Marriage. Second, okay, this book is a romance book that I actually adore the movie. So that's why we're reading it. Plus, look at this cover and tell me it doesn't give fall. It doesn't give, it gives November. A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. I love this movie. This movie is so cute. It is a romance, so I did throw some in there. I thought the cover was gonna be cute, but it's not. I don't remember what this book is about. Anyways, Landon Carter. Every April when the wind blows in from the sea and mingles with the scent of lilacs, Landon Carter remembers his last year at Beaufort High. It was 1958. And Landon had already dated a girl or two. He even swore he had been once in love. Certainly the last person in town he thought he'd fall for was Jamie Sullivan, the daughter of the town's Baptist minister. Ooh, pastor's daughter. A quiet girl who always carried a Bible with her school books. Jamie seemed content living in a world apart from the other teens. She took care of her widowed father, rescued her animals, and helped out at the local orphanage. No boy had ever asked her out. Rude. Landon would never have dreamed of that. Then a twist of fate made Jamie his partner for the homecoming dance, and Landon Carter's life would never be the same. Being with Jamie would show him the depths of the human heart and lead him to a decision so stunning it would send him irrevocably on the road to manhood. So this is a romance. I think I spoiled it, so I'm trying to get that part out. But I enjoyed the movie, so I'm gonna read the book. Next book on the list is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The Hunger Games is my favorite book of all time. So this is the prequel to The Hunger Games. This is about President Snow, and look at how pretty. We've got it right here. This is about President Snow and what happens and why he is the grumpy old man that he is in the Hunger Games trilogy. This is a chunky book and the font is not super large. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. The movie comes out at some point this month, so that's why I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this and then watch the movie. Because that's what I did with the Hunger Games. I saw the first Hunger Games movie. I read all 3 of them right after. I was like, this movie is it. The books are obviously better. But yeah, I'm excited. So that's all I know. That it's about President Snow and it's the prequel to the Hunger Games. So I don't really think I need to know anything else, personally. Book number 5 is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Again, magic. This girl time travels. Woo! That font. This is by V.E. Schwab. I heard V.E. Schwab is really, really good. So if you read V.E. Schwab, let me know. Because I know he has the, what's the name of that series? The Darkest Shade of Magic. I heard that was very good. But this one is about Miss Addie LaRue, and she kind of time travels. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. It will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name. And suddenly everything changes. I think she can time travel or she doesn't die. That is my prediction. All I know is those 2 little paragraphs on the back. So when I saw that this finally came out in paperback, I was like, yes. Because I did not want the hardcover. I was like, that book is too big for a hardcover. So this is book 5. I need you all not to yell at me, okay? Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This book is chunky, okay? Chunky. I don't really know much about this book. I know there's a guy named Zayden in it, and everybody loves Zayden. So if everybody loves Zayden, Shada's gonna love Zayden. And there's dragons. Primary reason for reading it this month is because on November 7th, Iron Flame comes out, and I will be at Barnes & Noble's to get my copy. Yeah. I know there's a young woman, I think her name is Violet. Her name is Violet. Oh, there's a map. Look at that, it's a map. I love a map. She wants to be something called a scribe, but her parents are like, nah, you can't be a scribe, you have to be a writer, which is a dragon trainer. How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know. And she does not want to be that, but they make her be that. And then she meets Zayden, who everybody loves. And the dragons talk. That was enough to convince me. Like, dragons talking is enough to convince me. So yeah, this is my last book on my October TBR. November TBR. Okay? So those are the 5 books. We'll see what I get to. These are all the books, okay? This is October. This is November. Let's see what happens. Because I put 10 books on my TBR for October, and I read 3 of them. And I'm still waiting for my copy of Madam, by the way. Okay, let's talk about that. But I know a lot of people are still getting their copies. So I will see you in December, and we will talk about if I actually read the books on my November TBR. Okay? I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. And I hope everybody had a happy Halloween if you celebrated. If not, I hope you watched Halloween movies. Because I've been watching ghost YouTube videos all day on Halloween. I'll see you in the next one.